my name's Chloe, and I am not a person. To my mother, Linda, known online as Lovely Linda, I am a prop. I am content. For as long as I can remember, my life has been filtered, captioned, and monetized. My first period? A sponsored post for feminine hygiene products. My high school graduation? A backdrop for her monologue about letting go. My mother is a mid-tier lifestyle influencer who built her following of 150,000 people on the brand of being a relatable, empathetic supermom. The reality, of course, is that Linda hasn't felt a genuine emotion in 15 years. If it wasn't recorded, it didn't happen. I moved out at 18 to escape the ring lights, but at 24 I was dragged back into her orbit by a catastrophe. My fiancé, Mark, left me. It wasn't a slow drift, it was a sudden, brutal abandonment 3 months before the wedding. I was devastated. My world collapsed. I was sitting on the floor of my apartment, surrounded by half-packed boxes of wedding favors, unable to breathe. In a moment of weakness, I called my mom. "Mom, Mark left," I choked out. "I don't know what to do. I can't be alone right now." "Oh, honey," her voice sounded stricken. "Stay right there. I'm coming over. I'll bring wine. We'll get through this." For a second, I thought, maybe she's changed. Maybe in a crisis, she can just be a mom. I was wrong. She arrived 30 minutes later. She bustled in wearing a perfectly coordinated, cozy loungewear set, beige cashmere, hair in a messy bun that I knew took 20 minutes to style. She hugged me, but the hug felt stiff. She was positioning me. "Sit on the couch, sweetie," she cooed, handing me a glass of wine. "Wrap yourself in this blanket. It looks softer." I was sobbing, my face blotchy, my eyes swollen. I poured my heart out. I told her how Mark said he felt trapped, how humiliated I was, how much it hurt. "I feel like I'm dying, Mom," I whispered, putting my head in my hands. "I know, baby, I know," she said soothingly. "Let it all out. Tell me exactly how you feel about the wedding deposits." Something about her tone was off. It was too projected, too clear. My mother wasn't looking at me. She was looking slightly past me at her phone, which was propped up against a stack of wedding magazines on the coffee table. The screen was facing her, but I could see the reflection in her oversized glasses. A stream of colorful hearts was floating up the side of the reflection. And then I saw it, the tiny pulsing red dot in the corner of her screen. Live. My blood went cold. The grief vanished, replaced by a white-hot shock. "Mom," I said, my voice trembling, Are you live streaming this?" She didn't even flinch. She just glanced at the camera and gave a sad, brave smile. "Guys, Chloe is just in so much pain right now. We're so overwhelmed. If you've ever had a broken heart, drop a broken heart emoji in the chat. We need your energy." "Stop it!" I lunged forward and knocked the phone face down. "Are you insane? I'm telling you my fiancé left me and you're farming it for content?" Linda snatched the phone up, quickly checking the angle. She muted the microphone but kept the video running. "Chloe, stop screaming," she hissed, her nurturing mask slipping instantly. "We have 4,000 people watching right now. This is the highest engagement I've had in months. Do you know how relatable this is? People love a tragedy. It humanizes us." "It humanizes you? This is my life. Turn it off." "I can't just turn it off. The algorithm punishes sudden stops," she argued, fixing her hair in the camera viewfinder. Just cry a little more, lean into my shoulder, and we'll wrap it up with a message about resilience. I have a code for that meditation app I need to plug. I stood up, shaking. Get out. Get out of my apartment. Don't be dramatic, she scoffed, finally ending the stream. I saved the video. It's going to perform huge on the timeline. You should thank me. I'm documenting your journey. Get out. She laughed, rolling her eyes, clutching her phone like it was the Holy Grail. I sat in silence, checking Instagram. 5 minutes later, the notification popped up. Lovely Linda posted a new video. My daughter's heart is broken. The reality of grief. It was the recording of me sobbing. My swollen face, my raw pain, all in high definition. The caption read, "As a mother, it breaks my heart to see my baby like this. Mark left her with nothing. Please send prayers and check the link in bio for the tissues we are using, code Linda20. The comments were pouring in. Poor girl, she looks like a mess. Why did he leave? Maybe she was too needy. Linda, you are such a good mom for being there. I felt violated, exposed. I called her immediately. Delete it, Mom, now. No, she said flatly. It has 50,000 views in an hour. Do you know what that does for my ad rates? Besides, it helps people feel less alone. Stop being selfish, Chloe. This pays for your stepdad's boat payments. My stepdad, Gary. Gary was a decent man, quiet, hardworking, and completely oblivious to the monster he was married to. He adored Linda, believing her online persona was real. He thought she was a saint who just liked taking photos. He worked long hours at his construction firm to fund her lifestyle while she played influencer. Hearing his name triggered a memory. 2 weeks ago, I had been over at their house helping Linda set up a new cloud storage system for her precious photos. She had tossed me her old phone, the backup iPhone, and told me to transfer the files. While the files were transferring, I had clicked on the Voice Memos app to see if there were any podcast drafts she wanted to save. There was a file dated 3 weeks prior. It was labeled Yoga Session. I had clicked play, expecting to hear her practicing a script. Instead, I heard the rustling of fabric. Then, a man's voice. A voice that definitely wasn't Gary's. I had stopped the recording, feeling sick. I had airdropped the file to my phone, thinking I would confront her later, or maybe delete it to spare Gary the pain. I hadn't decided. It was a nuclear bomb sitting in my pocket, and I had been too scared to detonate it. But now, I looked at my computer screen. The video of me crying was still up. The comments were getting worse, dissecting my appearance, speculating on why I was unlovable. Linda was in the comments section, liking the praise for her parenting, ignoring the insults directed at me. It pays for Gary's boat payments, she had said. She was using my humiliation to fund the lifestyle she shared with the husband she was cheating on. The rage that washed over me was cold and absolute. It dried my tears instantly. I opened the voice memo on my phone, yogasession.m4a. I opened a video editing app. I took a black screen, overlaid the text, the unedited audio of lovely Linda at her yoga class last week. I dragged the audio file onto the timeline. Mom wanted engagement? She wanted raw, unfiltered reality? She wanted her family's private life to be public consumption? I was about to give her the most viral moment of her career. I didn't just post the video to my own quiet page where it might get lost. I knew exactly how the algorithm worked. My mother had lectured me on it enough times. To get traction, you have to ride the wave of a trending topic. Right now, the trending topic was me. My mother's video of my heartbreak was currently sitting at the top of her feed, gathering thousands of sympathetic comments for her. I opened TikTok. I selected the stitch feature on her viral video. This meant my video would start with 5 seconds of her fake sympathetic face filming me crying before cutting immediately to my response. I didn't show my face. I didn't need to. I just used a black screen with white text that read, "Since my mother believes in sharing raw, unfiltered reality to gain followers, I think her audience deserves the full picture. Here is the audio from her yoga session last week while her husband, Gary, was at work. Turn your volume up." I dragged the audio file into place. The sound was crystal clear. "Steve, God, Linda, you're risky. Gary gets home at 6, right? Linda, he's clueless. He thinks I'm at Pilates. Shut up and kiss me." Sound of kissing and giggling. I added the caption, "Hey, at lovely Linda. Does Gary know that Pilates sounds a lot like Steve, the personal trainer? #cheater, #exposed, #the real Linda, #Momfluencer." I took a deep breath. My thumb hovered over the blue post button. My hand was shaking, not from fear, but from adrenaline. This would nuclear. This would destroy the family dinners, the holidays, the facade. But then I looked at my computer monitor again. I saw my own tear-streaked face on her feed being monetized for tissue ads. I thought about Gary working overtime in the cold to pay for her aesthetic renovations. I pressed post. Then I turned off my phone notifications, poured myself a fresh glass of wine, and waited. The reaction wasn't instantaneous. The internet takes a moment to digest. For the first 10 minutes, nothing happened. Then the trickle became a flood. I refreshed the page. Views 5,000. Comments 200. At Sarah J. "Wait, is this real? Is this Linda?" At Drama Mama. "Oh my God, I recognize that voice. That is 100% her." At Truth Seeker. "She literally just posted about family values yesterday. I feel so bad for her husband." Views 50,000. Comments 1,500. The algorithm grabbed my video and rocketed it onto the For You page of everyone who had just watched my mom's crying video. The contrast was brutal. Viewers went from feeling sorry for Saint Linda dealing with her daughter's breakup to hearing Sinner Linda mocking her husband. The comments on her original video, the one of me crying, started to shift rapidly. "Take this down, you hypocrite. You exploit your daughter's pain while you're cheating on your husband. Unfollow. Justice for Gary." My phone began to ring. Mom. I let it ring. Mom. 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 She called 12 times in 3 minutes. She was panicking. She knew that once the internet turned on you, there was no stopping the avalanche. Finally, I picked up. I wanted to hear it. "You little bitch." Her voice was unrecognizable. The soft, soothing influencer voice was gone, replaced by a demonic screech. Delete it right now. Do you have any idea what you've done?" "I'm just documenting the journey, Mom," I said, repeating her own words back to her. "It's raw. It's real. Isn't that the brand?" "You are ruining my career. Brands are already emailing me. Pampers just pulled their partnership. Delete it." "Did you delete the video of me crying?" I asked calmly. "That's different. That was content." "So is this, and guess what? It's performing huge. Engagement is up 500%, Linda. You should be proud." "Gary is going to see it," she shrieked, her voice cracking with genuine terror. "He follows my hashtags. He has alerts set up for my mentions." "Good. He deserves to know he is financing a lie." "I will sue you. I will disown you." "You can't disown me, Mom. I'm your biggest viral hit." I hung up. My heart was pounding in my chest. I checked the view count again. 1.2 million views. It had been less than 2 hours. Then my phone buzzed with a text message. It wasn't from Mom. It was from Gary. My stomach dropped. I loved Gary. He was the innocent casualty in this war. I opened the text, expecting anger or confusion. It was a screenshot. It was a screenshot of my video, paused at the timestamp where Linda says, "He's clueless." Below the screenshot, Gary had typed just 3 words, "Is this true?" I stared at the screen, tears pricking my eyes again. I didn't want to hurt him, but lying to him now would be worse. I typed back, "Yes, Gary, I recorded it 2 weeks ago on her backup phone. I'm so sorry." I saw the 3 dots appear, then disappear, then appear again. "Thank you for telling me. I'm coming over." I waited. An hour later, there was a heavy knock on my door. I opened it to reveal Gary. He looked like he had aged 10 years in an hour. He was still wearing his work boots and his high-vis construction vest. His eyes were red-rimmed. He didn't say a word. He just walked in and sat heavily on my couch, the same couch where Linda had filmed me crying earlier that day. "She's calling me," Gary said, his voice rough. He held up his phone. Linda's face was flashing on the screen. "She says it's AI. She says you used deepfake technology to frame her because I wouldn't buy you a car." I scoffed. "She's really sticking to the script, huh?" "I know her voice, Chloe," Gary whispered, looking at the floor. "And I know Steve. I paid for her private sessions with him. I thought it was for her sciatica." He put his head in his hands. "I built her that studio. I bought her the cameras. I worked double shifts so she could build her dream. And she calls me clueless to the whole world? You're not clueless, Gary. You're loyal. She exploited that." "She's outside," he said suddenly. "What?" "She tracked my phone. She's outside your building right now." I went to the window and looked down. Sure enough, Linda's white Range Rover, the one Gary paid the lease on, was double parked on the street. She was standing on the sidewalk, frantically typing on her phone, looking up at my window. She looked deranged. Her perfect bun was unraveling. But she wasn't just texting. She was holding her phone up. She was filming. Even now, with her marriage ending and her career in flames, she was trying to control the narrative. She was probably filming a "my daughter is having a mental breakdown and lying about me" vlog. Gary stood up and walked to the window. He looked down at his wife, who was performing for a digital audience while her real life burned down. "She's not coming up here," Gary said, his voice hardening. "And I'm not going back there." "What are you going to do?" I asked. Gary reached into his pocket and pulled out his wallet. He took out a credit card, the black Amex that Linda used for all her business expenses. "First," he said, taking out his phone, "I'm going to cancel this card. Then, I'm going to cancel the data plan on her phone." He looked at me. A grim smile touched his lips. "If she lives for the internet, let's see how she does without a connection." Watching my mother's digital death from my 3rd-story window was a surreal experience. Below, on the sidewalk, Linda was pacing frantically. She was holding her phone up, clearly in the middle of a hysterical live stream, trying to spin the narrative. I could almost hear her script. "My daughter has been hacked. This is a deepfake attack. Gary and I are stronger than ever." Then Gary made the call. "Yes," Gary said into his own phone, his voice calm and authoritative. "I am the primary account holder. I want to suspend the line ending in 4498 immediately. Mark it as lost/stolen if you have to. Just kill the data." He waited 5 seconds. "Thank you." Then he dialed the credit card company. "Freeze the supplementary card for Linda. Report unauthorized transactions for the last, let's say, 2 years. I want a fraud investigation opened." I looked down at the street. 1 second, Linda was talking animatedly to her screen. The next, she froze. She tapped the screen furiously. She shook the phone. She held it up to the sky like she was trying to catch a signal from God. The live stream had cut out. Her connection to the 50,000 people she valued more than her family was severed. She looked up at my window, her face contorted in a mask of pure, impotent rage. She screamed something, but the double-pane glass muffled it. Without her audience, she was just a crazy woman yelling at a brick building. Gary stood up. "I'm going to a hotel. I'll send a mover for my things tomorrow. Do not let her in." "I won't," I promised. The next few weeks were a masterclass in how quickly cancel culture works when the receipts are undeniable. My video of the affair audio didn't just trend, it became the defining moment of Momfluencer toxicity for the year. Commentary channels on YouTube picked it up. TikTok detectives analyzed the background noise and identified Steve the trainer within 24 hours. He had posted a photo of the same gym mat on his own Instagram.
Steve, realizing his career was about to implode, threw Linda under the bus immediately. He posted a public apology to his wife, claiming Linda manipulated him and that he was a victim of her controlling behavior. Linda was fighting a war on two fronts, and she was losing both. First, the digital front. Without Gary's credit card, she couldn't buy the bots she used to inflate her follower count. Without the perfect marriage content pillar, her brand identity collapsed. The sponsors, diaper bag companies, organic snack brands, family-friendly apps, dropped her faster than she had dropped me. Her income stream, which she bragged was 6 figures, dried up overnight. Second, the legal front. Gary didn't just leave. He filed for divorce on grounds of adultery, supported by the viral evidence I had provided. The divorce proceedings were brutal but short. Linda tried to argue that she was the primary breadwinner because of her brand value. Gary's lawyer was ruthless. He played the clips of Linda claiming Gary paid for everything in her old videos, which she used to humble brag. Then he played the clip of me crying where she admitted, "This pays for Gary's boat." "Mrs. Miller," the judge asked, looking over his glasses, "did you or did you not publicly state that your husband funded your lifestyle?" She was trapped by her own content. In the end, the court ordered the sale of the dream house that Gary had built for her. Since Gary had paid the mortgage and the renovations, he recouped the majority of the equity. Linda was left with her car, which she had to take over payments for, and her brand rights, which were now worthless. The final blow came 3 months later. I was meeting Gary for lunch. He looked 10 years younger. He had lost the stressed, haggard look. He was dating a nice woman named Brenda who didn't have an Instagram account and enjoyed actual hiking, not just posing in leggings at the trailhead. "You have to see this," Gary said, sliding his phone across the table. He pulled up a new TikTok account, Real Linda Starting Over. It was my mother, but the ring light was gone. The filters were glitchy. She was sitting in a cramped, beige apartment that looked like a motel room. Her hair was unkempt. She was crying. "Guys, the system is rigged," she sobbed into the camera. "My daughter and my ex-husband conspired to destroy me. I'm living in a studio apartment. I need help. Please, if you've ever been a victim of a smear campaign, donate to my GoFundMe, link in bio." The video had 400 views. The comments were turned off. The donation link had raised $5. "She's still doing it," I said, shaking my head in disbelief. "She's still trying to monetize the misery." "It's all she knows," Gary said, taking his phone back and locking it. "She thinks if she broadcasts it, it becomes real. But nobody is watching anymore." He smiled at me. "I'm proud of you, Chloe. You didn't just expose her. You broke the spell." I walked home that afternoon, feeling a lightness I hadn't felt in years. I passed a group of teenagers filming a TikTok dance on the corner, worried about their angles and their lighting. I kept walking. I put my phone in my pocket, untouched. I looked up at the sky, not through a screen, not through a filter, but with my own eyes. It was a messy, gray, imperfect day, and it was absolutely beautiful because it was mine alone.
My mother had spent her life chasing millions of strangers, desperate for their validation. In the process, she lost the only two people who actually loved her. She was finally the star of her own show, playing to an empty theater, and I had finally unsubscribed.